And Ron Harper.
Oh. What he didn't say it.
The former, do I think of him as a Cavs guard? Is that?
I think Bulls. Even though he was a
star
with
at
the Cavs and Clippers.
And then he played for the Bulls as well. But he has not one, but two sons in the association.
Two.
And so he was asked a question about his sons and participating because he was able to take part in the All-Star Saturday with his two sons. And he had this dig for one Mr. LeBron James.
Oh, let me hear.
Was this a vision you had? All-star like this?
I'm not LeBron James. I'm not going to tell my kids what they have to do. I just want to
And basically...
Hold on, run it back. Tell them what he said because they might not have heard that.
He just said...
I'm not LeBron James. I'm not going to tell my sons what they have to do.
And his two sons immediately, put their head down and covered their mouth like...
They're like, Dad, this was for us, not the world to hear.
What'd you say? Right. Was that out loud, Pops?
Pops, we not in the car, the three of us. The world is listening.
Yes, so it was pretty interesting. What'd you make of it? I'm going to just get your thoughts.
I thought that was an unnecessary dig. Usually what we see in sports is the reason why you see Magic Johnson walking around and he's dapping up Dr. J, and he's dapping up a Big O, and he's dapping up Ant Edwards, and Ant Edwards is dapping up. It's usually, and you've been covering this league since
1987, Tim.
Usually it's a walk around and it's a love fest, especially this particular weekend, right? We all brothers in this fraternity. And so I thought it was an unusual and an unnecessary dig at your brother in that frat. But Ron Harper, that's kind of Ron Harper like if you've ever heard him say things and talk throughout the years. He's not a big talker. He doesn't do a lot of pods and everything, but the little bit of I've ever heard, a little bit I see, he's ready for the smoke and gonna let you know his mind, even back when he was playing. That's just part of who he is. But I thought it was an unnecessary dig instead of just saying, oh, man, what an opportunity to play with my sons. I love my sons. They've worked so hard. They've earned this. That was a great way to do it.
It was a dig at Bronny, too. Basically, he's saying, she doesn't deserve to be up here on the low. He didn't say it, but basically he's saying LeBron is the reason Bronny had got to this level at all.
But see, I'm going to say this. That's because a lot of people still, that's what they feel. Is like Bronny is there because of LeBron. And people, you could say whatever you want. He was a highly recruited McDonald's, all that.
That McDonald's was a stretch, too.
Okay, he averaged 5 points at USC.
Nah, he might have been a Burger King All-American. But
right. But you know what I mean.
That was a stretch.
He averaged 5 points at USC, a bad USC team. And I get he had
the medical issue.
Okay, yeah. And he can go play in the G League and light it up. There are a lot of players who can do that in that league. And that doesn't mean that it translates over into the next level or the next league. And I still believe that somebody like a Ron Harper, whose sons got in on their own, who they feel got in there on their own merit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the hard part for Bronny. That's why you don't want to do it that way, because no matter what that kid does,
they're going to
say your dad got it because you had to go to the Lakers. He didn't was on a draft board and wound up in Orlando or somewhere else. This was all orchestrated, and that is the reason why people will never let it go or never let him stand on his own merit. And that's why I believe too, as soon as LeBron is not in this situation or not, because he's already lost power. You saw it with the Lakers.
Yes.
He doesn't have the same power. I would be shocked that Bronny's on anybody's roster when LeBron retires. I would be.
That's not far-fetched. I mean, he hasn't been given that opportunity yet, or maybe he hasn't played enough to where you say, all right, we got to have him as our 9th man. Not that he's going to be a big-time player, but, some energy off the bench, maybe a guy we can develop. We'll have to wait and see.
I tend to disagree, and only because the reason he doesn't get minutes with the Lakers is because the Lakers have expectations to win. But if you're Washington and you can't sell tickets, why not sign Bronny? He'll get playing time finally.
I get your sentiment, right? He's a star, but that becomes that.
And
novelty.
He's not trash. He's lighting up the G League, as you mentioned.
I've seen him when he's gotten extended minutes too in the NBA. And you can sit there talking about selling tickets. I think that's worn off. I'm dead serious because now he's going back. He ain't staying in the league the whole time. If he was in the league the whole time, maybe you would have a point. He's in the G League, right?
Yeah.
And also, you're watching him in L.A., where people literally went to high school with him or college, or they follow USC, they follow the Lakers, they follow LeBron. It would be interesting on a quiet night in Indiana. Are they selling out tickets because
No,
of him?
they're not.
Right.
And that,
you get what I'm saying?
is
Like,
the point.
Like 82 games, 41 at home. I don't know if we're buying just because Bronny. I think that novelty could rub off.
You're right. The Los Angeles thing is really the hook.
He went
and
to
his
USC.
dad is here.
He went to Sierra Canyon.
Right.
He's grown up here for most of his life. We've seen him. So there's an element of attachment to people from here.
But I think you could give him a fair shake as what he is as a player on a bad team to see what can you do if more is required.
I think the time is – I think there will be a point where all of us will go, this is the time we're really judging him. Right now, let's not underestimate what I'm going to say. Let's not belittle the health impact, right? He lost a full year and had to get his mind right. What I'm saying is, if the idea is he should have been in the NBA, I don't fully disagree with that.
No, my point. Here's my issue with that. Dude, people are trying to win. If he could play, he would be out there. He would be out there.
Right,
he
that's
would
what
be,
I'm saying.
He
So
would be in the rotation.
I don't disagree with that. That's
I'm just
what I'm
saying, like, people always making like excuse. Oh well, this and that. No, seriously.
Okay. Yeah.
Tim, the Lakers aren't steamrolling everybody.
Yeah.
He could really play. Why wouldn't he be in the rotation if he could ball out?
And I think he provides something they need. Energy. He provides, if nothing else, I need you for 15 minutes to go crazy and be 20, 21. Like, meaning you are going to have no restrictions. Your dad, obviously, in basketball terms, he's 55. But you can be young and lock up 94 feet and be energetic because we need that. That's what I would be saying if I was a Laker, right? Because that's what they need. They don't need just a scorer. They need guys who can bring it, fluster another team's offense, and they need that. And if he could provide that, he would be out there.
What was the other kid that Connect?
Dalton Connect.
Yeah. Dude, go look at some of his early games when he first got into the league. Like you
had 44 points.
Okay, and that's kind of my point. Is you saw some of that. Like if I was somebody, like I would be interested in that.
Well, that's why fans have been calling for him.
Am I wrong or right? Like we've seen him ball out. Yeah. We have.
Yeah.
You ain't seen Bronny put up no 40.
No. I have in the G League.
Right. Well, you've covered that. Let me add some more context to the Ron Harper thing. The one thing I think with LeBron, to just using, let's say, taking Ron Harper at his word, I don't think LeBron forced his sons to play basketball. What I do believe he forced was once he realized, oh, you want to play basketball, I'm absolutely going to do whatever I can in my power to help you with that, whether it's through high school, getting you a Sierra Canyon, getting you McDonald's All-American. That was a large part of, well, to whose point was that? Now, your point earlier of, well, that's some celebrity to it. If we get LeBron James Jr. in this game, there'll be some extra. Because McDonald's All-American ain't hitting like it used to as far as, nothing does.
You see, Bryce ain't playing at Arizona.
Right.
He just has a red shirt. He ain't, dude, they were undefeated. I know they lost recently, but no, he's not getting any run. They got a good team, dude. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
So I'm saying, I think
you think he's not playing. Carmelo Anthony's son's not playing at Syracuse. He's coming off the bench.
He's getting a little run.
He's getting some burn. It's slowing down a little bit.
But he just had a couple of DMPs.
Yeah, it's slowing down. He was getting more burn earlier. But I think my point is, I think with Ron, it's not so much he said, I ain't tell my son to play basketball like LeBron. I don't think LeBron ever is like, you have to play basketball. I think naturally my dad is LeBron, and especially as young as he had them, that they're just playing ball together. You see it, you love the game. I think LeBron at a certain point, though, absolutely used his power. And that's where I'm actually shocked. Real quick, let me make this point, and I know you'll disagree with me. We've argued about this to nauseam for years. I'm actually shocked Ron Harper would say that in the sense of, even though you might not agree with, like, helping out your sons and using your power, the idea that there's an opportunity for a prominent African-American to use his power and to help himself. Well, we've seen that many times over in other places. So I thought Ron would almost be like, privately, I might say this. Okay. Publicly, I'm a little more shocked to say that.
I think Ron Harper speaks for most in the NBA who had to earn their way on teams. I'm dead. Most won't say it publicly.
But that's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with that.
Most don't believe in that because, everybody had to make the team. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. You have to make the team, right? And anytime they looked at a situation where they felt like he got an unfair advantage or some other kid who put in the work or whatever didn't get the opportunity, people don't always feel good about it. And I'm saying Ron Harper, I think, speaks for the majority. There's a couple of people who will defend LeBron, but most people, if you ask them honestly about the whole scenario, it was about LeBron. The whole idea was he couldn't go to the Milwaukee Bucks, be drafted by them, and play and do his own thing. LeBron had to have him with him so that he could play with him and be the father and son. Like, it had to be that way, and that is why Ron Harper said what he said.
I think it also shows the schism between today's generation and the old school. I think a lot of people in my generation love it. They love that Bronny's with LeBron, and they look at people like Ron Harper as haters, as if you can't have it the old school way, it's got to be the highway. You know, I mean,
I know a lot of people who are on Ron Harper's side, who just
of this generation, but
no, I'm just saying, like people, people who are, I'm talking about athletes.
Okay,
because they're used to a meritocracy.
Right.
You earn. I'm better than him. I'm on the team.
Okay, and the biggest thing, just like you just said, the country's 70% white, but the NBA is 70% black. Because they could have easily, you want to talk about, well, all the white guys own all the teams, put all players that they want, their sons, their cousins, their nephew. You could do that if you want, right? If they could.
Exposed,
But no, they're not going to do that because they're trying to win, and they know they can't do it. When they tried to put Tim Tebow down in Jacksonville as a tight end, right? What happened? It was a revolt, though, by the players because he didn't deserve that opportunity. And that's why I'm saying that's why this rubs people the wrong way.
And listen,
that's all.
As a meritocracy, who deserves it, who's better, I completely get that. I think this is where there's two things. The power move of seeing someone that powerful and of a LeBron stature, what we've seen him go from being the 18, 19-year-old coming in to now, I think some people, to your point, Tim, appreciate that. Like, look how powerful he's gotten, where Rob is always saying, LeBron made it happen.
Michael Jordan owned the Charlotte Bobcats, okay? He had two sons who played college basketball.
And I'm saying, what if Mike did? What if he wanted to?
Mike would never do that. Because
I agree. He's the type that I'm like, I've been seeing you getting cooked. You ain't like, seriously. He could have said, well, I could put them as the last two men on the bench. They don't play much anyway. They could be on, like that could be your question. You could do that. All you need to do is come to practice, give some energy at practice, be there on time, whatever. He could have done that. He would never do that. That's the difference we're talking about. That 25, 30-year difference
mentality.
in the age.
Yeah, the generation.
Is that you get some guys are like, I'm going to put my son on no matter what in a power position. Others are like, my son ain't even good. I ain't helping him.
Yeah.
877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Tim, we appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no doubt,
Thank
man.
you. We really did. Thanks for coming out, too.
No doubt. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share, do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.